Sink into the sand when he's walking in the desert.
Dessert? Dessert?
This is where they come to hunt. Their home trees are the big old-growth mangrove.
They're going to remind us about the awesome God and how God related to his people as well as how people related to God. Now, things are not in the program in sequence the way they exactly happened in the Old Testament, but the story ties together. And so we hope that you will have a very enjoyable evening. And as the children have studied the Old Testament, have sung about it, have learned about it, we hope that tonight you too will also enjoy it. After the program, we do need some folks to help us gather the chairs, take the stage down, because we have a liturgy tomorrow, and they really appreciate it if we could get some help. So hopefully we'll have it. I'm supposed to be talking, I don't know.
Your worship of these foreign gods endangers Israel's life. And then I spoke up to the king, your future's also dim. You took a farmer's vineyard, pull your good life further dim. Spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. The spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. The spirit gave the vision of a virgin spinning wheel. And then I had to weep, 'cause worth thy goodness, what a meal. For many years I prophesied the Lord of Israel's fall. Thus would never heed the Spirit's call. The spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. The spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. The Spirit called me as a boy and said, "Go find a yoke, a pair of shorts, a pot to break my son. This is no joke. Show people what will happen when they turn away from me. Their good names will be ruined and they'll lose their liberty." The spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. The spirit of prophets, you speak to Israel. Elijah, Jeremiah, His mother sent him astray in a basket by the bay. Pharaoh's sister found young Moses the babe and took him in and called him her own. He was raised believing that Pharaoh was uncle, he was father, she was mother. Yet one day he talked around. Aaron and Miriam, his actual family, just lived in town. He talked to Pharaoh to see why. He explained as good as he possibly could. Moses ran as far as he could until in the desert he stood, and God said to him,
"Go to Egypt and tell the Pharaoh to let the Israelites go."
"But how? He will never listen to me."
"I'll help you on your way, but I must go now."
"I will try the best I can."
Moses, I know you come back to your senses and come back to live with us in the palace.
Let my people go. They're just like you and me. They should not be treated this way.
Ha ha ha, I don't think so.
I tried. He doesn't care.
Don't give up. God and His ways need you.
You have to keep going.
God, please help us. The story started with a man named Moses who led God's people to the land of the chosen, the land of wonder and prophecy, the land called Canaan in Galilee. Before old Moses could cross the river, his poor old heart began to quiver. With the promised land lying straight ahead, his great heart stopped, for Moses was dead. The Israelites were lost. Who would be their leader and take them across the Jordan River? They prayed to God. He picked his man. Joshua would take them to the promised land.
Soon we'll march into Canaan, the land that God has promised us. But before we go, I must know the people of Canaan are willing to give up their false gods and their wicked ways. I have chosen you two soldiers, and know you are strong and wise. Go to the city of Jericho. Jericho is filled with wicked people and is surrounded by tall, thick walls. Slip quietly through the city gates and find out that the people of Jericho will become people of God.
Rahab, we gather here to warn the people of Jericho that they must stop their wicked ways, or our army will destroy your town.
We have heard the stories about your God, but our king has his own God and has commanded us to worship them. We know that your God caused a part of the Red Sea so the Israelites could escape from Pharaoh's armies. Your God is very strong. And I believe that he alone is Lord of heaven and earth. Promise me that your army will protect me when it attacks Jericho.
Gather your family into your house. Tie a red rope to your window and hang it down the outside wall so our soldiers can see it. When our army destroys Jericho, you and your family will not be harmed. Joshua, the people of Jericho will not stop their wicked ways except for Rahab, whose house is marked by a red rope. We have promised to protect her since she is faithful to the God of Israel. But now the city gates are closed and locked, and its walls are very strong. How will our army get over those walls?
Come, let us pray to God. He will show us the way.
The Lord spoke to Joshua as he began to pray. Listen carefully to what he had to say. Take my army to Jericho town. Once a day, march it one time round. After 6 days, call the trumpeters by. On the seventh day, form one more line. March the soldiers round 7 times slow. Then cue the trumpets and hear them blow. Give a signal, hear your army shout. And victory will surely come about. When shouts and trumpets fill the air, walls will go tumbling everywhere.
Noah awoke with a terrible fright. As his heart pounded and his tiny house creaked,
Noah heard God begin to speak. I will send a roaring flood with raging wind and choking mud to wash away sin throughout the land. Listen carefully to my plan. You, dear Noah, my faithful friend, will sail away to a happy end. Call your family to your side and build an ark to keep them dry. Gather the animals 2 by 2, elephant and kangaroo. March them in and close it tight. The rain will fall for 40 nights.
Yes, Father. I just have the last nail. I'm so glad you finished it. Because every time we call this supply, we're laughed at and called names. They say you're crazy.
I know it is hard to speak God's word when people make you fun. How should I do it?
Now all of them were packed into the boat, as the rain kept on falling and began to float. Through 40 days and 40 nights, the ark sailed away with a heavenly Finally, the great storm stopped. The clouds dried up, not one more drop. God placed a rainbow in the sky and promised to keep us forever dry. Now just like Noah, God is calling you to serve him faithfully, worship him too. People may tease you, put you to the test. Have faith in God, give it your best. Whenever your world is growing dark, think of Noah and his mighty ark. Trust in God, be of good faith, and you will surely know God's grace. Old King Saul was a weary old soul was he. He called for his pipe, he called for his flute, but nothing could make him happy. Till one fine day God sent the son of Jesse out from Bethlehem to play his harp and sing a tune. David could make the old king croon. To old King Saul was a merry old soul was he.
David, stop your playing. I'm afraid nothing can make me happy today.
What is troubling you?
The Philistines have attacked our country. Our army is fighting with great courage. Your own brothers are on the front line, but the Philistines have a soldier, a giant named Goliath. He is too much for our army. I'm afraid our country is lost. No one can defeat Goliath.
Your Majesty, I take care of my father's lamb and sheep. Anytime a lion attacks a lamb, I go after it, attack the lion, and rescue the lamb. And if a lion attacks me, I fight it with God by my side. The Lord will save me from the giant Philistine. I will go and fight Goliath.
But you are just a boy, and God has said that when I go, you shall be king. No, my son, I must protect you. I cannot let you go to Goliath like a lamb to the slaughter.
Do not fear. God dares to attack God's army. I will go and fight with God's army. God himself will protect me.
You speak with God's assurance. I will pray for you. Go then, and may God be with you.
David went to his noble brothers and said to them, "You fight the others, save Goliath for me alone. I will fight him with sling and stone." "Who is this boy who comes to me?" Goliath roared most terribly. "I will eat him for dinner tonight." But David just held his sling real tight. Round and round he circled his sling. The stone hit its mark perfectly. It struck Goliath between the eyes. With a groan and thud, Goliath died. That's the story of a little lad who fought the lions and saved the lambs. God his heart and soul belonged. He fought with courage. His faith was strong.
Gather round, children, and you will hear the story of jealousy, anger, and fear, the story of Joseph and his coat of many colors, and how he suffered at the hands of his brothers. Joseph was Jacob's favorite son, a boy of vision and a servant of God. He could see the future and interpret dreams, but his brothers were jealous and began to scheme. When his father gave him a rainbow cloak, his brothers grew furious and threw him in the moat. They sold him into slavery and made up a lie. An animal killed him, and their father cried. Many years passed, and in a foreign land, Joseph grew in wisdom. He knew God's plan. And this is where our story begins, so lean your heads and listen in.
Joseph, you are a very wise man indeed. How lucky we are that you are governor of Egypt. You interpreted my dream, and everything happened just as you said it would. For 7 years, our fields grew more grain than we could ever eat, so we saved it carefully, just as you advised us to. Now our fields are bare, nothing will grow, but thanks to you, our people have enough to eat.
Your Majesty, you are very kind, but you must not thank me. I am a servant of God. God spoke through me, and he interpreted your dream. All praise and thanksgiving belong to God alone.
Halt! Who are you? What are you doing here?
We have traveled from the land of Canaan. Our fields are bare, our people are starving. Our people said the Egyptian people have great storehouses filled with food. Our father Jacob has sent us here to beg your kindness. Will you help us feed our people?
We will sell you the food, but how do we know that you are honest? You may return to Canaan with the food, but your youngest brother, Benjamin, must stay here with me until I receive payment.
Governor, please don't ask us to leave Benjamin here. Our father has never gotten over the loss of our other brother Joseph. If we lose Benjamin, Jacob will surely die.
Don't you recognize me? I am Joseph, your brother.
Joseph, we did terrible things to you. Can you forgive us?
You did not send me away from Canaan. God sent me away. God knew that one day people in many lands would be hungry. He sent me to Egypt to prepare for the famine and save people's lives. I am not angry with you because all that has happened has been part of God's great plan for us. Now return to Canaan and bring all of my family here so I can take care of them.
That's the story of the coat of many colors of Joseph and his jealous brothers. Joseph could see a rainbow in the sky and read its meaning from God on high. He loved his brothers despite their hateful deeds. How could he love them? It's no mystery. In all you do, in all you see, look for heavenly possibilities.
Now
When at night they dreamed weird things, Daniel would tell them what they mean. Daniel served the God of Israel, and when he had great dreams to tell, God revealed his heavenly plan, and Daniel became a famous man. Now, if you can imagine, there were evil men who plotted to throw him in the lion's den. They wouldn't stop there and look out, oh no. Run, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I have heard disrupting news from the Babylonian provinces. My spies tell me that you refuse to worship my gold statue. Is this true?
Your Majesty, we have served you well. We have governed your provinces with wisdom and fairness, but we cannot worship your golden statue. We worship the only God of Israel.
Then I have no choice. Guards, take them to the fiery furnace.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were led to the oven for what do you know? They fell to their knees and began to pray. Lord, we praise you on our final day. Like a cold blast from off the Arctic Ocean, an angel blew in with wings in motion to fan the flames and put them out. Then the men began to shout, God of Israel, you are our Lord. We will serve you forevermore.
Daniel, of all the men in my kingdom, you are my favorite. You have faithfully governed my provinces and are wisest of all men. But my spies tell me they saw you worshiping the God of Israel. Don't you know you have broken my law? You must worship me, for I am king.
You are king, but the greatest king of all is God of Israel. Worship no one but him.
Then I have no choice. Guards, take Daniel to the lion's den.
They took poor Daniel to the lion's den, opened up the door, and threw him in. He fell to his knees and began to pray. Lord, I praise you on my final day. With lions roaring all around, a heavenly angel from God came down, tied the lions up, and made them sleep. Then the king began to weep. The God of Israel is very strong. I will worship him my whole life long. So when you get to the end of your rope, when friends desert you and you have no hope, trust in God, he'll stay with you, hold your hand, and see you through.
there with seaweed on his head, with all of his terrible problems to dread. Poor old Jonah had a change of heart, and this is where our story starts.
Jonah.
Yes, Lord?
Why are you running away from me?
Lord, I have always tried to serve you faithfully, and I haven't asked for much in return. But now you tell me I must go to the terrible city of Nineveh and make those Ninevites give up their evil ways. Lord, they will make fun of me and hit me with rotten apples. Why have you chosen me to go? Why me?
Jonah, have faith, and the plan will be revealed.
There you go again, Lord, giving me an answer I can't understand. Why me? Okay, Lord, I'd rather be alive than dead. If you get me out of this stinking fish, I'll go to Nineveh.
The whale swam to a nearby beach and spit Jonah out. He began to preach and spread God's word to Nineveh city. Believe in God, or he'll have no pity. He'll punish you and destroy your town. Then Jonah found some shade and sat right down.
Jonah, the people of Nineveh have listened to you. They have given up their evil ways and are worshiping me. I am very pleased. I have decided not to punish them.
Lord, I have told them all that you are going to destroy their town. Now you are letting them off the hook just like that? How can you be so forgiving?
What right do you have to be angry? Was I angry with you when you sailed away from me on a sinking ship? No, I saved you from the belly of a whale because you asked me to forgive you. So it is with the city of Nineveh. The people repented of their sinful ways, just as you did. They also are my faithful children. Jonah, let go of your anger. Grow in faith and wisdom, and you will know my grace.
Jonah was a lad like you and me. When he heard God call, he ran to the sea. Confused and frightened, he tried to hide, until at last, deep down inside, he knew the truth, he found God's grace, all of life's troubles he could face. So here's the moral of this little tale. When you lay in the belly of a whale, remember this, let God be your guide. You can't go wrong with God by your side.
just came over on the ark, and I don't know what to do with it. Our drummer here tonight, for instance, on his own initiative, asked if he might be able to do some accompanying, and did a great job. We appreciate that. Some of our students helped write the script. Some of our junior high students turned up on Saturday and helped make the props that we had. One telephone call and they came. So there are just so many people to thank, and we really appreciate your coming tonight. You might go home and try singing some of the songs from tonight. Maybe the Old Testament has a little bit different meaning for you. But thank you so very much to Mrs. Degner, Mrs. Prokosh, the teachers who have worked very hard, and the students who have worked very hard. Thank you. And we do need some help with the stage tonight. We need to get it down because we...
They are a big spider. I call them Nephyla. That's their Latin name. And these guys eat big animals. Their web is powerful enough to trap small birds and small bats. Predominantly, they feed on insects and large butterflies. When the male comes in, he's minute compared to this big girl, and he crawls in onto her back and mates with her at the right time of year, and then he's got to run like crazy or he gets eaten. They have a magnificent web which is strong, really strong. Probably the strongest web in Australia. You can see why birds and bats get caught up in them. Wow, look at her. She's glorious. Ah. Oh, right. Have a look at this stuff. Yow. Oh. This is like getting hit by a wild animal. It's what I call calamus. It's actually a palm tree. They call it wait-a-while vine. It's got these huge barbs on it that just chew right into your skin and leave a barb embedded. Worse than a tiger snake bite.
Man, I'm getting hung up on all these vines.
Wait-a-while vine.
Hey, there's an orangutan up that tree. No, wait, that's Steve.
Have a look at this. This is Varanus Keith Horneye, the canopy goanna, and they stick like Velcro. They'll jump from tree to tree and whack, stick on just like a piece of Velcro. They've got a beautifully modified set of claws, really long toes, and they've got special pads underneath their feet that just enable them to stick. They're like super glue feet, and they can climb. Crikey, they can climb. Now, this is only a youngster. And being a canopy goanna, they are the rarest goanna species in the world. Beautiful little lizard. And this one would be about a year and a half, maybe 2 years of age. And you know what makes these set apart from any other goanna species is this tail. See how he curls it up? They've got a prehensile tail. Look at that. Like a primate. Look at the way they grip. So they use this tail like it's another appendage, and they hunt insects. They're predominantly insectivorous. So they'll locate their insects with their forked tongue or their sense of sight. They've got a very acute sense of movement. So they'll see a little katydid or a grasshopper move in the foliage, sprint over, whack, grab it, swallow it down, and they'll swallow it down alive. Now, if they get an insect that'll stick to their face, they'll scrape, 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 and swallow it down. They can climb from the first day they're born. Now, this one's gonna lose all the flecks and speckles. See the way they jump. Did you see that? Did you see that? That's what sets these lizards apart from any other species. Watch this. Holy smokes. Hang on, little mate. Hang on, little fella. Hang on, you're right. You're right. Come on, then. Look at his little prehensile tail. Talk about jump. Crikey, they can jump. He wants to jump over on that other branch. Here he goes. He's lining up. Go on, then. There he goes. Unbelievable.
After the break.
History, it was named after a traditional Aboriginal tracker who came up here with the early pioneers. They all perished, unfortunately, but the name Jackie Jackie has hung around for a long, long time. It's a brilliant estuarine environment with some of the finest mangroves in the world. We've got old-growth mangroves dating back hundreds of years. And the mangrove mud is some of the tackiest I've ever come across. Of course, there's a whole host of species that live here, and I'm hoping to see a few of them. I know there's pigs around. Suey's nose is starting to sniff the air. Boy, in the mangroves.
As I gun the motor straight towards it, Suey jumps out. The water's so shallow she can virtually walk straight up to it. Oh, it's a gnarly little boar. It turns and faces her as soon as she gets up the bank. I'm gonna paddle over there. I wish I could motor, but I just can't get there. It's too shallow. She grabs it around the scruff of the neck, around the razorback part on those bristles, and hangs on as the little pig tries to get its tusks deep into her body and cause her a heavy injury. Oh, it's a fight. Hang on to it, Suey, hang on to it. I'm coming, mate. The mud just sucks me up until I can grab hold of its back legs and pull them both up out of the water. Then comes the hard part, trying to get Suey, the naughty little hunting dog, off. Come on, Sue, break away now.
Suey caught herself a little Cape York boar. He's reached sexual maturity. They're tough little devils, by crikey, they're tough. And he's just starting to grow his tusks there now. Anyway, now what I've got to do is try and grab hold of Suey, and let this pig go. Sue, come over here, sweetheart. Come here. Come over here. You sit there. Okay. Now. Here you go. Wait a minute, Sue. Get out of it. Try and bite my dog. Go. Wait there, Sue. Go, pig. Suey, wait. Wait here, sweetheart. Oh. This isn't exactly the way I intended to start this morning here in Cape York, but I guess we'll just take what comes. You're a funny little dog. He split me too. Split me right open.
The little boar managed to get a tusk right fair smack into the palm of my hand. It's deep, but I'll be able to handle it. It's no problem at all. I can't say I blame it. The pig was really stressed by that fight with him and Suey. Next, one of my favourite lizards in the entire world.
One right here sunning himself.
I'll betcha he was watching Suey fighting with the pig. It's really important we keep our wits about us, because that croc could have just as easy gone in and broken up the fight by grabbing one of them. I saw something move up in these mangroves. They're old-growth mangroves, which is a favourite haunt for... Yep, there it is. It's a mangrove monitor. They're a pretty big lizard. They're a goanna, and they can grow up to 2 meters. And they just cut through these mangroves so easily and so quickly. He's trying to get around the other side of the tree so as I can't see him. Stalking is really difficult with goannas, and he's moving off. He's just staying out in front of me. And they can cut straight through the limbs from one tree to another, whereas I have to come back down. But I'm closing in. Oh, got him. I just love mangrove monitors.
Have a look at this. Have a look at this. Have a look at this little cutie. Well, hasn't this been an effort? Isn't she cute as a little bug? She's a girl, she's got a cute little bottom too, look at her. And she's black as the ace of spades with these bright yellow spots. Look at her spots. And so when she goes into this mangrove, she just blends in. The ultimate camouflage. These guys can run through the trees quick as greased lightning. They can dive into the water, swim like a crocodile underneath the water, come up, ooh, there's a boat coming, dive down, bolt away. And they can do that with this laterally compressed tail. Look at that. Flat as an oar. Flat as. She's very cute. She's a very cute little girl. Look at her. Oh, man, their claws are sharp. Even while I'm talking to you, look at this. She's just scratching me. Her claws are needle sharp, and that enables them to bolt through these mangroves like I've never seen before. They are one of the hardest goanna species in the world to catch. Really, really difficult. And given how harsh and hostile this terrain is, I tell you what, it is just such an honour to catch one. Absolute honour. You know what amazes me is these are one of the finest goannas in the world, bar none. They feel in danger by a predator, they'll jump down into the water. And of course, the crocodile will eat these. And so what they'll do is they'll come out onto these low branches and they'll bask during the day, just out of range of crocodiles, about 6 feet above water level where the crocs wouldn't even see them, let alone come up and grab them. Really acute sense of sight. She can see me coming from 200-300 metres away, and they can spot the slightest movement in and around these mangroves, like a little crab or an insect. They'll grab it. They love to eat snakes and skinks. They'll also eat rodents. That forked tongue also enables them to locate via their sense of smell. They have got good teeth, really good teeth. I have been bitten. I had this female one day and she bit me on the finger and she sliced me open. Their teeth are very similar to tiger sharks. Long and sharp, designed to lacerate. So even if they find a carcass of an animal that's quite big, they'll actually be able to whoosh, slice a piece off because they've got needle-sharp teeth. Isn't she cute? Isn't she just darling? She's gorgeous. Well, I'm going to let her go because the sandflies are starting to carve me up. I'd sooner get bitten by a crocodile. Whoa. Okay, sweetheart, put you back in your tree. Just gotta let her go here. Here you go, sweetheart. Look how quiet she is.
As my beautiful girl walks up the end of the tree, trying to get away from me, as does our journey come to the end of the road, and we've got to walk from here. Beautiful, tranquil beach is the last stretch, just a few hundred metres to the absolute tip of the continent of Australia.
There's a series of stone monuments all the way down this way, and I reckon they signify I'm only a stone's throw from our final destination. Well, there's only one thing left to say, and that is, woo-hoo! What an incredible journey to the northernmost tip of Australia. What an epic!
Cape York Peninsula is the northernmost point in Australia and one of the most remote places on the face of the earth. In fact, I feel a little bit like a pioneer woman up here. It's just beautiful.
If you love watching
He'll get squished. I haven't played with Slaty Greys since I was up here with my dad, and I don't know whether they're venomous or not. He's really grabbed me, and if he has got any venom, I'm in trouble. Time to reference a book.
Slaty Grey. When hunting, if cornered or grasped, it responds by biting fearlessly and repeatedly. It doesn't say anything about venom. Yee-hoo! We never got wiped out on the road. They're virtually... Whoop, he's having a bit of a go. Oh, he's biting my boot. And see the way he's spinning around like that? Like a death roll. See, he's trying to get away from me. These are very common up here in the Cape. Really common. He's got a bit of a wound here, look at that. Naughty little snake. Bummer. Let go now, mate. Now you've bitten me, and I've saved your life. I'll let him go.
Gotta get him off the road or he'll get squished. I haven't played with Slaty Greys since I was up here with my dad, and I don't know whether they're venomous or not. He's really grabbed me, and if he has got any venom, I'm in trouble. Time to reference a book. Slaty Grey. When hunting, if cornered or grasped, it responds by biting fearlessly and repeatedly. It doesn't say anything about venom. Yee-hoo! Cape York Peninsula, all the way to the tip of Australia. Remote gorge in mid-western Queensland, where we take a very unfortunate spill, nearly killed both of us. Now this is a python, carpet python. I've just taken a bite. Now pythons, of course, can be aggressive. It's their only method of making sure that they don't get eaten by other predators. A bite's one thing, but they've got no fangs and they've got no venom, so I'm in no danger whatsoever. Working with animals has its moments, but luckily pythons are not poisonous, so I was in no danger. Some people think you'd have to be crazy, rescuing crocodiles and catching snakes, but the conservation of these animals is really important to me. Unfortunately though, the job puts me in constant danger, but even the most dangerous times have their lighter moments, and tonight we're going to take you into our archives and probably shock and amaze you with some of our wildest home videos.
Got a day that's wild, wild week. Feeling bad, feeling kind of unique. Just like the crocodile. Only know where I am when I'm lost. At Wild, Wild Creek. Got a friend to meet at Wild, Wild Creek. It's a dirty street. Living every day like the end of the week. At Wild, Wild Creek.
In the early days of rescuing and relocating crocodiles in the wild, Steve used to record all of his single-handed exploits with his home video camera stuck in a tree.
Luckily I did, because it captured one of my more painful mistakes.
Steve has been living like Tarzan long before I met him. Here he's showing his unique style of catching fish.
With his tail bitten off.
And he certainly has improved his methods of catching taipan since he got this on video. I don't think the wheel of a truck is actually part of their usual territory.
My dog Suey helped me catch this feisty croc, aptly named Joan Collins. Out of the hundreds of crocodiles I've had to capture on my own, this is the first time that I've made such a painful mistake. Without securing the croc's jaws first, I'm climbing into a transport box to pass a rope through. The big mistake is that the crocodile's open mouth is right next to my legs under that pile of net. With no help and no way to tell where the crocodile is, it occurs to me that I might be stuck up in this box for a week. Crikey, I wish I had nailed the other end of the box shut. Luckily, as the croc finally moves away, I feel the rope slide from under me and I take the chance to back out. Thank goodness she was satisfied to even the score with just that one little bite. If she kept going, she would have made it back to the river and my job would have started all over again.
Thanks a lot. Got a few holes.
This bite put Steve out of action for a couple months.
Look at that crocodile did to me, Suey. Hey, did you get that on video or what?
I wouldn't blame folk for thinking that worrying about how to get Steve's clothes clean is my biggest challenge. But I can assure you it's the furthermost thing from my mind when Steve's in the mud wrestling with crocodiles. Our next home video shows how challenging a crocodile can be when she's made quite a comfortable home for herself in a cave of mud. Steve has found himself a very defiant crocodile. Her name is Connie, and she has managed to secure the perfect place to hide. With his dad on the camera and young Wes to lend a hand, you'd think they'd get it right.
On open ground, lassoing a croc is pretty hazardous. Trying to rope this liberated female in her muddy hidey hole takes a lot more patience and skill. There's no way she'll come quietly. It's all a matter of coordinating her snapping at me and getting the rope on her top jaw at the same time. With her back to the wall, there's only one way out, and that's past me. Once the top jaw rope is on, I carefully coax her out, but the slippery mud makes it dangerous and gives her the advantage of lightning speed should she decide to lunge. She's still a very angry young lady. This blindfold will calm her down and make it easier for Wes and I to jump on and restrain her.
Steve's best friend Wes spent 10 years in the wilds of northern Australia as his perfect backup. This hands-on experience with Steve has positioned Wes today as our manager and curator of reptiles at our zoo at Beerwah.
Now all we have to do is get her out of the mud and into the boat. With 3 thrashing individuals, it's not that easy. We only have to lift her a couple of feet, yet it seems like a mountain.
Stay on the head, mate. Whatever happens, ride it out.
Great family home video, but certainly not one of Steve's most glamorous captures.
Yep, it's definitely a girl.
Dodging crocodile attacks is all in a day's work for me at the park. After the break, we've put together some of the close calls that our cameras have been there to record.
And also the close calls that actually drew blood.
Like crocodiles and snakes, requires tremendous concentration. You've got to be totally on the ball. Now, when a camera crew comes into the equation, you've got to worry about them as well. And that's when my concentration can be broken, even for a split second. Bang! Your history. Just like this next clip where I was caught totally off guard.
And you can see coloration of this guy. Come on, mate. Oh, you're not hungry.
This is an actual crocodile here.
This is an actual crocodile. And when I look at the animation that you've got there...
Although I never missed a beat, when I saw this replayed, I realised just how close Monty had come.
Steve has spent all of his life here at Australia Zoo on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, dodging crocodile lunges, strikes, and attacks.
It's all second nature to me, with daily feeding of over 150 saltwater and freshwater crocodiles, as well as alligators. Keeping them active is all part of my routine, because in their natural environment, they must hunt for their food. So whilst educating visitors to our park in animal behaviour, the crocs get to hunt me for their tucker. Here's the notorious aggro. He doesn't care whether it's me or a chicken when it comes to a feed. Every tooth is loaded.
Today's menu was chicken.
Monty gets so close here, he bites the camera. Monty never misses an opportunity to assert dominance. And here's Murray, the fastest bullet in our park. And Mary, she's a doting mum.
Weekend mowing in our backyard takes on a totally different meaning when it comes to trimming the edges. It keeps the crocs fit and Steve on his toes. Or is that the crocs on his toes and Steve on the run?
I'm out of here.
You're a good girl, man. You're not going to attack me now, are you?
Yep.
As you can see, she's absolutely intent on defending that nest. This is her job. She does a great job at it.
That's right. Yes, you. Come on then, Cook. Come on, Cook. Back up there, back up.
Don't worry, Steve. I'm long gone. Nesting season is our most dangerous time. The females command total respect. With Steve and I spending so much time so close to wild animals, it's inevitable that there are always going to be close shaves. And sometimes those shaves connect. This next collection is certainly not for the faint-hearted.
Well, we're going to have to get it out of here, otherwise it's going to die. Okay. Yeah, we'll hold it out from you, mate. Oh, God! Well, that's it.
Sweetheart, you gotta take it.
All
I
right,
don't want
all
to take any more hits.
Okay, back off. I got it.
Don't let her get my face.
We're going to have to get it out of here.
Steve, if you want to show... Oh, you got me again.
These pythons have no poison, just sharp teeth. Very large venom glands. When you look at his head, unlike this king brown, which is highly venomous. And he means business.
There.
Goannas are harmless if left alone, but their jaws can lock on and their teeth are like tiger sharks.
No, you can't. If you touch it, you just tear a great chunk out of it.
Let her go.
I've let her go. Ah!
Ooh. This is a freshwater snake, or a keelback, and he was just in our camp. They're completely harmless, they've got no venom, they're frog eaters. And in actual fact, this is the only species of snake in Australia that can... Well, maybe they do bite. The only species of snake in Australia that can tolerate cane toad. Oh no, it's a taipan.
Yeah, the little fang marks on his lip. You'll notice that the rest of his head is pretty badly hurt as well. Now here's one from the archives that gives us a laugh every time. The Brolga actually loves Steve, and that's the trouble. She's treating him like another bird. We were filming the start of a bird documentary, and let me tell you, it took a long time.
Now next week, we're going to take an epic journey.
That is the best thing I've ever done.
This is a Brolga. This is a Brolga. Where we get a good close look at albatross.
When you have to round up 10 energetic young male crocodiles, catch them, sex them, and crate them to send to another zoo, and you have to do it all in the fastest possible time, there are bound to be a few human limbs that get in the way. We call this next archival treasure the Mother's Day Crocodile Roundup.
Ooh, that was close. It's Mother's Day, a perfect occasion for a home movie and for some mums to visit our Australia Zoo and watch us round up these crocodiles.
These guys are going to another wildlife park. They've reached sexual maturity, and at this age, they start to want their own territory. And we need to separate them to prevent fighting.
It's unnatural and dangerous to keep maturing crocodiles together in a restricted space, like in crocodile farms. Aggressive behaviour over territory is inevitable, and we've got to go in and sort that out because we love our crocodiles.
The crocs won't hurt themselves in the boxes. They feel comforted by the closeness and the darkness.
Really? Right here.
Mum and Dad got scared.
Good. They're not really trying to bite me, they're only defending themselves. They think we're going to hurt them. When we're dealing with crocodiles, we can always rely on the expertise of my dad, Bob. That's it. Move it, keep it going, keep. When you're ready.
We have to be really careful. They're fast and powerful, and there's a lot of snapping jaws in here.
We class these guys as teenagers in the croc world. Not too big, but as you can see, big enough to be really dangerous. One of the best hits I've ever taken, it wasn't from a giant crocodile, but a tiny little lizard that not only showed a lot of guts, but had an aim that was right on the nose. They don't get quite as big as the ones on the coast,
bearded dragon. You can see why they're called a bearded dragon. They've got this little beard here, and when he gets all cantankerous, all cranky, or you've got a big mouth too, he opens up his mouth and shows this beard, and that's a sign of toughness. I am so tough. Stay away from me or I'm going to bite you. You bit me on the nose, you little brat.
Here at Australia Zoo, we're constantly expanding and always endeavouring to house our animals in environments that are exactly like their natural habitat. So it was inevitable that one day the park legend Monty, our 12-foot hero crocodile, who's been in our family for over a decade, finally had to be moved into a bigger home with a gorgeous girl named Goldie. The key to success when moving large reptiles is speed, but Monty's move was marred by one unfortunate accident.
Yeah, mate, those rocks are going to be a little rocky. And he's got a beautiful young female where he's going. Her name's Sharon.
This is an opportunity for everyone on the staff to get in the picture. Monty's so big and strong that we'll need as much help as we can get just to hold him down after Steve gets him tied up.
Ooh, there's that accident I mentioned. Monty's bashed his jaw against the rock before I'm able to pull him away from the danger. We'll have to take a close look after to check out his injury.
One rope won't be enough for Monty. While the rest of us wait for our part in the capture, Steve has to go in close again and get a second rope over that massive jaw.
This rope, hold it out this way. You ready, Brino? He's going into a death roll. Let him go. Let him go for a death roll. Righto, Brian, go!
This is the safest way to move a croc, certainly for the crocodile, but not necessarily for us. We don't believe in using drugs. That's far too dangerous for their health. Believe it or not, these tough-as-nails reptiles can suffer severe life-threatening stress, and tranquilizers are very easy to misjudge.
So it's everyone piled onto the croc's back with a good firm grip to give us enough weight to keep him still and to suppress all that power.
Now that he's restrained, I can get a good look at Monty's injuries. It's a bit hard to see through these top jaw ropes, but he certainly has done some damage. I don't think it's all that bad.
Okay, so when you can, rock him, I'll jump out.
You communicate, Brian. Here's another reason we need all those people. Monty is heavy. We can't carry him all the way. The park is 15 acres, and we use a truck to get the move over and done with quickly, so Monty can get back to normal as fast as possible.
See, when he started thrashing around, broke one of his teeth on that rock. Poor bugger. Nothing a good, beautiful, sexy Sheila won't fix.
The best news is that a lost tooth will grow back within 6 months. Teeth get lost in the wild in fights and attacking their prey. And as well as that, teeth just falling out is a natural process. On average, a crocodile tooth will last 2 years before a new one replaces it.
The crocodile is a hard-hitting predator, and their head is their killing device. So nature has armed them with the ability to replace teeth quickly. But just the same, it upsets me when any of our animals get hurt through no fault of their own.
Wait. Swinging the wrong way. Swing that way.
Here's one of the most dangerous parts of the move. The release of Monty into his new home with a female that we hope will be a mate for life. There's a lot of people in strike range, and when Steve releases the jaws, we have to get out fast and make sure we don't trip over each other.
I'm with the cameraman. Back off, everyone out. Go on, boys. Go get him, mate. Go get her. Go get those girls, Monty.
This is a very rare moment, and we're lucky enough to have a video camera right with us. It's the mating ritual of crocodiles. The female signals to the male by making irresistible gurgling sounds and by emitting a beautiful perfume from the scent glands under her throat.
Mating sequences can last several minutes, and she continues to blow bubbles to keep stimulating the male. Mating behavior like this can last for days, weeks, or even months.
It seems to be more than just an instinctive ritual. They really do enjoy it. Crocodiles are very passionate and gentle lovers, and for such a huge aggressive animal, they are surprisingly delicate when it comes to mating.
To make some space for our visiting alligators from Taronga Zoo, we had to do a little reshuffling of our own. It was time for 3 freshwater crocodiles to move out and make room. It was also a great opportunity for me to try my hand at crocodile wrangling for the very first time on my own.
Terry's introduction to crocodile wrangling was the perfect opportunity for a home movie well worth keeping. She's pretty nervous as she moves in to grab the croc on her own for the very first time.
I'm starting with freshwater crocodiles. They're not dangerous like the salties we've just seen, but they're still a real handful. The body attached to this set of jaws is just about all I can carry, and occasionally I need a hand from Steve. But hey, I did it. I grabbed a croc all by myself and carried him to the truck.
Wait on, let me, he's going to bite. He doesn't know what's on that side, he's blind that side. So you look at me over here, mate. You look at me.
This is always a 2-person job, but this time, Terry's got the main part.
I've got the tail, eh? This one we call the blonde because she's kind of a yellow color. She comes from a sandier region in the river system, so she's adopted that kind of blondie color. And she's a bit more aggro, kind of a typical blonde.
You're right, that's it. You've got a real good. This one's a bit lively. Even the 2 of us can't hold her still, and those super sharp teeth can be very dangerous. So we've decided to blindfold her.
Blindfold on front.
Right up, this the other way. Red, just in case. Just sit back a bit. We'll see how it goes.
My third croc is just too big to be picked up and carried in our arms, so we're wrapping him in a tarp to make his move more manageable. This is one of my favorite home movies. It was a real milestone for me, the first time I took on the lead role in moving crocodiles to new homes in the park. It really gave me a great sense of achievement.
This crocodile's not going anywhere, I gotta tell you.
Freshwater crocs don't go out of their way to attack humans. We're too big, and we're not seen as a food source, not like the big saltwater crocs who see humans as a potential feed. Of course, if you muck with a freshie, they'll bite out of self-defense, so what we're doing can be a little dangerous.
It's a big boy. That's it.
You want to move? No, what I need is a blindfold wrapped round. I need a blindfold wrapped
Apart from being good for the well-being of the animal, another advantage of restraining them by body weight and moving them by hand is that you can actually feel when a croc is building up to a burst of energy.
And this one thrashes us all over the paddock.
Inside the enclosure.
Okay. Grab his jaws first, Duggar.
Like a vice, guys. Hang on to him. Got him? Got him.
Pretty heavy. Okay, let's go down over here. Lay down, Scope. You comfortable, Duggar? Okay, Terry, you can get comfortable there too. Everyone else off. Stewie, Rick. While other staff at the park restrain the big croc, Terry and I release another one at the water's edge.
When Steve takes the blindfold off the last of the smaller freshies, the croc's all tensed up. It's difficult to hold, and he catches Steve's arm with the side of his jaws. All the croc had to do was squeeze down, and one protruding tooth tore a neat little slice out of Steve's arm. As we said earlier, those freshwater crocs have exceptionally sharp teeth. That's a good little nip.
Yeah. She just picked up a little bit of skin when I put her down. It's no big deal.
Do you think she'll get food poisoning?
Yeah. Every home movie collection has a few tapes showing important family events, and this one's about an addition to a crocodile family here at Australia Zoo. One of our naughtiest crocodiles is called Agro, and we're capturing a beautiful female named Lucy to add to his family group.
At present, she's in her own pond and she's retreated to the back of the enclosure. Lucy's determined to stay out of reach, and the only way we can get her is with a lasso on a pole to catch her top jaw.
Okay, that's it, pull it up. Pull it tight, go. Okay, pull it towards you, go. Keep going, keep going. Right, keep going.
Soon she'll be part of the family group like one she would join in the wild. As well as Agro the male, her new family has 2 other females.
Now feed that over. By crikey, she's a feisty, tough little girl. She's going to be a perfect match for Agro. I guess you could say a crocodile family group in the wild is a bit like a harem. It's standard to have one male and a number of females in a single territorial range. Yep. It's very important when you're catching crocodiles to move as quickly and precisely as possible, because what happens is they're a real flight or fright animal, and when they expel energy and adrenaline, they get a lactic acid build-up in their own body. So it's important that we work really, really hard and really fast to get over and done with so as we can get her in a new pond.
Again, this is why we want to use the truck. It's a big park and it takes less time to move around.
Right? Okay. The matriarch in the family group, Mary, watches warily as we move into the territorial range of the Agro family group.
We should be safe in adding Lucy to the group because it's a much larger environment than most.
Yep.
And her addition will make it more like a natural colony. We continually monitor these new relationships to make sure that they can cohabitate as a family group. Looking back on this home movie, we're pleased to say that Lucy fitted in perfectly with her new family.
While Sydney's Taronga Zoo designs a new alligator enclosure, it posed a problem of what to do with their 3 long-term inhabitants while construction took place. And that's where Australia Zoo offered to help. We agreed to take 2 males and 1 female alligator and babysit them for a year while their new home was being built.
Taronga is Australia's largest and most respected zoo, and we're delighted that they're trusting us with 3 of their star reptiles. The American alligators are among 400 different species that Taronga show and educate the public about in a 75 acres park right on Sydney Harbour.
The alligators at Taronga Zoo live in near natural conditions, so we've called on the fire brigade to help pump the water out so as we can locate the alligators.
We were lucky that the first one we spotted and roped was the largest of 2 males in the pond. The other male and the single female are still concealed. We're making the capture in winter. Like all reptiles, alligators aren't as active in the cooler weather. Their reactions slow down, and it should be safer for all of us. Pumping out most of the water helped protect us from hidden alligators, but it also made things dangerous in another way. The thick, slimy mud leaves us vulnerable. If it's not slippery, it's sticky. And mud like this can slow you down when what you really want is speed and space to react.
We're down in the mud with Taronga Zoo's curator of reptiles, Trent Russell. He's overseeing the entire operation, and he's very focused on the handling of the animals. These animals haven't been handled or touched for over 30 years.
Now, we've got to be really careful of his bottom jaw. Actually, we'll go, give us the top jaw rope. No.
This big old gator lost one of his eyes in a fight many, many years ago. And it's very Australian to give animals a nickname. So we've called this big old bloke Igon. In the wild, this sort of injury could mean the difference between survival and death. But in captivity, old Igon can expect to live well over 70 years of age. The average life expectancy of crocodilians is the same as humans at 70 years of age, but as with humans, they could possibly live well over 100.
Keep going.
It's always a reward to have my dad right there with us at the helm.
On the front here, just keep your pressure on the back.
You can't move.
Yeah, just ease up.
Along with Steve's dad, Bob, there's a lot of other staff from Australia Zoo and Taronga. We wanted to make sure we were ready for anything with a group of giant reptiles who aren't used to human handling. Also, the weight of such big alligators means more people are needed, and working in mud and on steep slopes makes it difficult and tricky.
These alligators are full grown and probably as large as they'll get.
Just gotta watch out for that hole.
By crikey, they're heavy.
AT&T 00 Info, crocodile would have trouble surviving even one winter out in the open like this as far south as Sydney. But the American alligator has been known to survive in frozen lakes by shutting its body down to almost a comatose state.
Taronga has had these special crates custom built just for the trip up to our park in Queensland.
There was a lot of media at Taronga for the move, and it's something we really appreciate. Media attention for events like this helps zoos around the world by keeping animals front of mind, and it really enhances the cause of wildlife protection and preservation. It helps educate the public in the role of zoos, and publicity helps with funding by keeping conservation issues in front of the public and governments.
Without a sympathetic public, zoos would not exist, and if people don't feel for animals, there will be no push to protect them and save them. That's especially true with animals like crocodiles and alligators. They're not exactly soft and cuddly and lovable.
If kids don't see them and don't learn about them in parks or on films, they may consider them only as a threat and not worth saving.
Oh, that's comfortable.
It's a good thing that these alligators don't regard humans as a food source. To them, we don't even look like dinner. They go for much smaller prey. Even their mouths are made for something different. Compared with a crocodile, they have shorter, peg-like teeth and rounded snouts designed for catching and killing animals such as rodents, nutria and koipu. Now here's something interesting about alligators. They growl. Just like, well, I guess alligators are just like a frog with sharp teeth.
Okay, four people hold the...
We're all sopping wet and a little worn out by the effort, and it's worse because we're making this move in the middle of winter. The plan is for the alligators to spend about a year in Queensland until Taronga builds a brand new facility for them.
Hold the stretcher, the rest lifting and put the forward. Keep going, keep moving forward.
Boxing them without any restraints means less handling at the other end. We just have to open the lid and let them go. The boxes are designed to be big enough for movement, but not so big that they can get up enough power to bash their way out.
Yeah, I might have another one just in case. Get a bit of weight on this rope, hey?
The third alligator is the hardest of all to get. She's well camouflaged in the mud, and she's so cute we've called her Ruby. Alligators are coloured jet black, and they have these frog-like eyes that lets them sit really low in the water.
This is the alligator's own territory, and until the jaws are tied firmly, it's a very hazardous spot to be slipping and sliding around.
At last, we've got her out of the hidey hole in the sticky mud. It's best for the alligators that we keep up the pace. Less time means less stress. But for us, it's getting pretty well exhausting.
We'll rest.
Have you ever seen a dirtier bunch of people? But at least the alligator is calm. They're usually considered a placid creature, and this one's decided to go back to its normal behavior. Like the crocodiles, a blindfold helps to keep them quiet.
She has the cutest little tummy.
She's hanging all day.
Why is that tummy cute on her?
These alligators are enormously heavy, around 440 pounds, the weight of 3 average men. And that's hard work until we can bring in the stretcher.
She's on there. Yep.
Well, that's better.
Alligators and crocodiles are some of the natural world's great survivors. They've been much the same sort of creature for around 200 million years. They evolved in the age of dinosaurs, and if we don't hunt them or destroy their habitat and food sources, there's no reason that they can't survive indefinitely.
Righto, everyone out. Go, go, go.
The whole operation's finished in less than an hour, and that's great for the alligator's stress level.
Personally, I thought a warm shower would have been much nicer. By the way, apart from one of the gators, I was proud to be the only other female involved. Now the other end, unloading at Australia Zoo.
Easily the most dangerous part of this mission is me on this backhoe.
Just pop him up, I'll have a look.
Time for one last checkup before releasing them.
So as you can see, this is the bigger one.
This method of transport is designed so we can just open the boxes and let them go. But these alligators are honored guests, and we want to make absolutely sure they're okay.
Come on, buddy. That's 2 feet. Keep going, keep going. That's great, eh?
The beautiful thing with working with alligators is they're so placid. With the saltwater crocodile, the Australian salty, they're hard, they're fast, they're gnarly, aggressive, and when they bite down hard. Alligators more, you know, trying to bluff you out, uninclined to bite. This animal is extremely powerful and you wouldn't want to take a hit.
The 1,000-kilometer journey from Sydney is almost over, and most of the staff have to help because they're such heavy beasts.
Okay, everyone off. Go!
Gone.
Now, if that was a crocodile, he would have got a lot closer to making a hit. Finally, one last little push and the alligator's right at home in his temporary pond.
This is Aggro. His name is short for aggression. We're about to notch up another first for Terry, and we thought it was worthwhile getting out the video camera for what's to become another one of our favourite home movies. We're teaching Terry to feed Aggro, one of the most demanding jobs in the park.
Okay, right, get in there, mate. Go straight in there. Just wait. Steady. Hold your ground. Woo! Happy day. All right. Rhino, can you get him back to the water? I got him.
Now that really tested my nerve, but I've proven to myself that I can handle it. Even though I've done it once, the second time is just as nerve-wracking.